Ovin. Okay, we're going to start taking... No, that's just Herbert S. Sinclair again. We get the trader room, we can trade in those No! Did I... Metal detector. Oh, potentially more useful. I want to do the study. Then I'm not really sure where the rest of the safes are. Oh, it'll be... Yeah, perhaps a major key? I passed it, didn't I? Just gonna trade these away. And I'll probably try and trade away the major keys as well, because if I can get discs, that'd be lovely. It is a bit unexciting that I can't just get the cool powers I literally just earned. I think that's worth it. I mean, considering they don't do anything about it. Listen, dice. I mean, I'll regret it if I find the other keycard, the other microchip still. Once I'm gonna just go forwards. That's interesting. You know what that means? The game counted my day as ending. It just didn't give me the fucking clock tower. Either that or I just did it on a different day. Might be that, to be honest. R2, below the Blackbridge. Miller awoke to some light nudging from a familiar foot. Only one person would have the cheek to awaken her in such an ill-mannered fashion. Shaking the sleep from her eyes, she glared up at him in the darkness, but did not say a word. He nudged her again, teasingly, and stepped back into the dim. After taking a moment for her eyes to adjust to the darkness of the cave, Miller remembered. She was on the third watch today, quietly collecting her things and wits. Miller turned as she left, waving to a young friend who was more than likely already asleep. She crept through the cavern's main passage, careful not to wake the sleeping bandits around her. Like a hero in a book, she often mused. Quietly, she grabbed a bow from the haphazardly formed pile of weapons, shaking the accompanying quiver in the darkness to assess how many arrows it held. She then walked towards the sun-drenched mouth in the cavern, ready to start her shift. I'm guessing the gallery might also be more important than just nothing, if it's just like one really fucking difficult puzzle. Above her, in one of the few trees found in the canyon, Miller could see that Ravia was already posted. She waved, and Ravia waved back, calling out. Whichever was strictly forbidden. Anything louder than a gesture, the canyon was forbidden. When Miller reached the tree, Ravia loaded a bridge rope and pointed to the ground behind her. Miller turned, following the finger, saw a pail of water resting beside a nearby log. She turned back to Ravia, nodded, and secured a pail to the rope. The pail went up at first. Miller followed. Ravia reached across to grab the water. Miller leaned back to give her space. High. It's not so bad because I think, but there was not much room for manoeuvring in this tree post. Necessary concession, the concealment the outpost demanded. Ravia tilted the pail up to her mouth dramatically, illustrating how thirsty she'd been. Miller laughed silently as water poured out, splashing into Ravia's face. It was a bit too daring, too noisy of a joke. The others had been around. They would have certainly been scolded for the unwarranted sound. Miller appreciates the effort it took to verbalise the silence in the morning. They'd been on the third watch together for over a month, and during the speechless time their friendship had grown into something special. Affection was unsurprisingly scarce among the unholy hounds even. She had felt camaraderie before, of course, but intimacy never. From their elevated vantage, the girls could see both the concealed entrance of the cavern as well as a clear view of the bridge that spanned across the canyon. Blackbridge was the link between the gentry lands and the northern mountains. The overpass that connected Orris and Reddington, the city-faring travellers of the realm. The bridge was an unavoidable crossing. In the day, the task was to ensure that travellers passed by without stopping. At night, the task was to ensure they do. Like most of her band, Miller preferred the night. The biting glare of the sun might be tolerable for farmhands and bricklayers, but to a cavern-housed bandit, it was a source of constant annoyance. In the day, there was no shroud to conceal her expression, to hide her thoughts. She felt exposed. Ravia touched her elbows. There's no numbers on these pages. And pointed up. Miller, striving to suppress a budding smile, subtly took her head in response. There were many signs that the unholy hounds were in lieu of words, but two of them had developed an extended vocab. Eulary, gestures quietly forged in the shared solitude of their mouth, of their month among the branches. She watched as Ravia shifted, placing her palms flat on the floorboards beneath them. Miller knew what she was trying to say, but took her head a second time. It was more fun to pretend not to understand. Shook her head a second time, sorry. Ravia rolled her eyes and turned away, looking back to the canyon. Squinted through the leaves, the two girls, watching and listening. It was still not long enough until Miller, too, heard the sounds of the approach. Ravia held up two bent fingers. A few moments later, two men emerged from the bridge's southern end. They were dressed in a familiar uniform. Long grey coats with black facings, white waistcoats, and black tricorn hats. They belonged to the local patrol, the Blackguard, wouldn't it? Although not an everyday occurrence, their presence at the Black Bridge wasn't an unusual sight. It typically indicated an important traveller's impending passage across the bridge, information that the girls would promptly relay to their leaders as soon as the coast was clear. But this sighting was rarely acted upon. Miller's 5 years in the Unholy Hounds, she never once seen a carriage taken in open daylight when the Blackguard nearby. How long this is? Not that long, John. Men had nearly reached the bridge's north end when Miller heard the horses faintly at first, then growing louder with each passing moment. Ravia's eyes met Miller's, and the same concern mirrored each other's expression. This did not sound like a typical carriage cautiously approaching the bridge to cross. Instead of the familiar crunch of the high road's gravel, they heard the harsh clattering of hoof beats against stone. Both girls quickly redirected their attention downwards, looking for the foliage. The sounds were not coming from the high road, but from the canyon itself. The horses were coming from below the bridge. In an instant, Miller had knocked an arrow and drawn her bow. Go! Ravia was gone before the whisper had even left Miller's mouth. The young scout was already sliding down the bank below, facing towards the cave. There was no road that ran below the canyon. There was no reason for the numerous horses to be approaching their cave. There was only one reasonable conclusion. Both girls had reached it instantly. The base had been compromised. There was a Blackguard attack. Oh, it's him, isn't it, from the last story? The moment the horses came into view, Miller let loose her first arrow. She was surprised to see a carriage. She expected a cavalry. Before she even finished processing the thought, her second arrow was in the air. Without a trail, it would be unthinkable for a carriage to traverse such rough terrain. She watched as the wheels jolted over the rocky riverbed. Her third arrow was now in flight. There would be no need for a fourth. The driver slumped over just moments before the vehicle dipped into a small ditch. Slamming into the embankment, the force of this sudden halt immediately shattered the first two wheels, catapulted the driver from his seat. Utterly confused now, Miller quickly glanced over her shoulder to see if the horses were also approaching from the rear. Down in the canyon, the entire horde of the unholy hounds came spilling forth from the earth, as if hell itself had suddenly sprung open. The group seemed even more bewildered than Miller, half asleep, tripping over one another in desperate attempt to engage the unseen enemy. Combat, Miller could see Ravia among their number, and only one looking up at her. Expression was chilling. There would be no need to fill. Expression was chilling. There would be no need for a silent gesture to convey what they both now realized. They had made a mistake. The gang's chieftain, Jeffrey Heartslasher, led the others, cautiously approaching the crashed carriage. Suspicious fox would near a baited trap. There were no words exchanged as the group crept forwards in the customary silence. A dozen or so paces in front of the wreckage lay the far-flung driver, arrow protruding from his broken body. Beside him, a bloody stained effigy carved from stone. Miller was inconsolable. Whisper had always been her favourite. It always shadowed her in the night, clinging to the hems of her every move. The way the child trails behind an older sibling, tender-hearted, she'd always called him. Though deep down she'd known that wasn't quite true. His appearance of gentleness concealed raw, resilient durability that emerged in the most perilous situations. Been a flower among the nettles of this cave, but he still had thorns, formed by grim past and 100 hands of misfortune. They buried him in darkness, in the back of one of the larger cavern rooms. He was interred with a berry basket and a silk handkerchief he treasured. The mysterious effigy they had found beside him served as a distinguished gravestone, marker that stood out as somewhat special among the rows of similar swords marking neighbouring plots. No one spoke, not even in whispers. There was nothing to say. Miller awoke the next day to a thunderous shaking and a rattling of earth, a far cry from the playful nudging of the previous day. She strained to adjust her eyes, but the choking sting of stirred-up dust caused her to flinch. The neck was also in the air. Sounds of scurried footsteps and clattering feet filled the space later, but even in alarm the silence was louder. What was it that sounded so strange? Miller closed her eyes tight and used her feet to guide her. Along the passage, the whispers around her were getting louder, and intense voices could be heard ahead. Louder speech than she'd ever spoken in a canyon. Growing dread grew as Miller approached the mouth of the cave, her eyes now open wide despite the dust. Shouldn't it be day? Miller felt a hand in the darkness pulling at her. It was Ravia. The two embraced until Miller did not need to see her and understand. Ravia placed two bent fingers against Miller's neck cheek. That touch against her face, Miller felt the same sinking feeling from the previous day. Two bent fingers confirmed what Miller had suspected. The girls had forgotten to relay one critical piece of information to the others. An hour or so later, the screams began, blood-curdling cries of hopeless desperation. Captain Podrick Lee of the Blackbridge looked down at the ridge of the canyon, collapse entrance to the cave. Ah, he grinned. Now they speak. Huh. So the alright, cool. I don't know. That doesn't feel like it's going to help me in my adventure, but it was a nice story. Really do need take green. That's annoying. Better. Fuck. I mean, that's a perfect time to have a ballroom. That seems like an important date. Is that infinite gems? Wow. Some keys. They usually have keys, don't they? Twenty times 10 is 200. Minus 18 is still 200 divided by 20. 20, isn't it? Divided by 20, 10. 30 minus 2 is, no matter what it is because it's got that, so it's just 30 still. Same with that. 30 divided by 15 is 2. 30 divided by 30 divided by 10 divided by 15. I've misunderstood. It's 100. Let's do that again. 30 times 2 is 60, which is 100. Times 3 is 300. 300 divided by 10, 30 divided by 52. Right, I'm going to trade that. Right, we've hit an hour and a half, so it could crash now. System is up there. It's using 2.5 CPU. Oh. So we want the vault. Keys would be nice then. It's really embarrassing to have spent over $1,000 that I might not have needed to. In this day and age, it's reasonably easy to just send shit back, but... Could have gone to the ballroom and I've... It's really annoying to have to keep doing that, but... It's not gonna... It's like, that's... It's in the courtyard. Can't do that, John. I get to 8 now, aren't I? I literally need the keys. This box is empty. Blue box is empty. This box is empty and the blue box is empty. This box is empty. Every empty statement with the word empty is false. Okay. That has to be false. Say that's true, that's true. Did we do that already? We changed the security. No. Fuck, I should have written down what... I want the armory, because it sounds fun. Another key to the secret garden. You leak a load on keys on this one. Weapons and armor for sale. I'm sorry, what? Study. That's the one I was trying to get ages ago, wasn't it? Okay, how do I get weapons and armor for sale? Once per day while drafting, you can equip Knight's Shield to ignore the negative effect of any one red room. I'm sorry, but is that permanent? Yeah. You may use the axe in the room directory to permanently remove the gem cost of one room. No, but I want it. Can knock locks off chests and trunks. Tomorrow morning gain 1 star. What? So what happens? Is it just... Oh, so they're just items. Fair enough. And what was that one again? Okay, that's cool. back room. Okay, what did I think the answer was for the other puzzle? For the shit, it was somewhere in my notes. It was the two sets of people, the two small gates, and there were like 5 of them, or 14 and another, or something like that. I don't think it's on this piece. I think it's on this piece. I mean, it could be fucking anywhere. Did I write it down? To be fair, I was kind of distracted since then. Do we have the study? Like, I swear it would be right there. So it is. Why have I got like numbers crossed out? 14? Is it 14-4? Fuck. Do we have the drawing room? Do. We can just go back into it. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 1504? Should we double check? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 1504. Oops. Oh, 4, 15. All the others are contained in the rooms with them. Okay. 1, 2. Because it'll be month. So 04. Okay, 1, 2. Not missed any here. 3. Are you not small? Do you not count because you're not small? Like with count gates as well. Even though it's the small gates. Counts as small, just those? Does that count as small? Like, because that's big as well. Because that makes it much more confusing if that's the case. So 15, 4, or 415, and then how much am I taking off? Two. They're all big for her. This is just one. It might be just one. Maybe it's comparison. So 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's bigger. That 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You know, well, part of me's happy that didn't work. Even if we go like that, I think we should only discourage like the really big ones. So that one there. Let's instead go for 1403. No, because literally all of hers are that size. 1401. I mean, this might be the wrong room. But there's not a clue to open up this. There's nothing. All the other ones have a clue. So it makes sense that this is the one connected to the... No, it makes sense that it's connected to this, the whole thing, but it doesn't mean it's connected to the drawing room. Is there a connection between this and the drawing room? D8. What's weird is that's the clue I accidentally saw, the gate thing. And it's not solved me this room. It's actually solved me another room that doesn't have its spell weirdly. One, five, four. Four, one, five. There's only so many more times I'm going to play this. One. 2, 3, 4. Are you really expecting me to like look at what's bigger? We tried them per wall. That was the first thing I tried. The 0648. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8. 9, 11. Yeah, have I? 13, 14. 3, 5, 6, 7. And does the direction matter? One, 2, 2, 1, 2. Another 2, 2, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fuck, would I know the order? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. Or 11. That seems wrong already. Oh, I might have to give up on this one. Getting up all my steps. Not really sure what we come. We bought a bunch. We got the. Got the armory finally. Just sort of bought stuff for without really thinking about it. Missing. We saw the master bedroom. We're missing sadly, and we're missing room 8. secrets are you hiding? I can't think of any other way to interpret this. Oh well, we'll get another chance in the future. It was just nice to have them right next to each other, the rooms. I can just go back and forth and test theories out. But I'm also scared of the game crashing. Although I guess it's not really a big deal if it crashes on this one. Not a lot's been done. Would have to do that room again. 1. Okay, we managed to survive that. 1. 2. 3. 4. It is 4. I cannot interpret that as anything other than 4. 1. 4. 5. 6, 7, 8. 9. 10. 11, 12, 13. 14. Try 15, 2, 2. Fuck it. That doesn't make any sense. So 1, 15. Yeah, I'm just no idea. I think we're out of keys. I think the weapon's going to change. Chests and trunks. We should see what they trade for. I might have spent a little bit too much time faffing about there, but small gates. If we count small gates, 8 dates, crack 8 safes. But, you know, I just spent like 20 minutes counting small gates. Where is the workshop? 1, 5, 6. Wouldn't get back in time. We are instead just gonna put a day. I'm gonna try and burn something with my Adobe. See if it survives the process. So yeah, no clock tower, which I earned. I would have solved that. So a little bit grumpy about that. Fates conspired against me. It was pretty noteworthy. This is a music room and a ballroom. But it's not quite what we were looking for. Right. I need to do my exercise as well, so I'm going to let you go. No raid this time, because yeah, we've survived a stream. So who knows? I need to keep testing, I guess. I'm gonna have to send back a PC and a graphic card, we're told. The PC doesn't need the graphics card. It was all superfluous.